In this video, I'm going to be talking about inequalities and equations. Inequalities are things that are not equal. It's either less than or greater than, or you have equations. And equations, you hear the word equal in there, so it's equal on both sides. And you just got to figure out what the variable is to make it a true statement that is equal. Okay? So we'll deal with equations in a minute. Let's stick with inequalities. We want to find out if an algebraic expression is less than, greater than, equal, what is it? And so we have a couple, I have a couple problems here on the board where y is 6. Okay, so if y is 6, here's my expression, my algebraic expression, 3y something 18. Okay, so I have to figure out, is this less than, greater than, or equal? If it's equal, it's not an inequality. But if it's less than or greater than, then there's an inequality. It's not equal. Okay, 6 is y, so I put 6 here. 3 times 6 is 18, and this is 18. And right away I know that that is equal. All right, let's go to this next one. If y is 5, it's going to be 3 times 5, it's 15, and I have 18 here. This is less than 18. So it's just plugging in whatever the variable is, solving, and seeing which one's greater, less than, or if they are equal. 10. 3 times 10 is 30. 18. Oh, this is much greater than. Okay? So that's inequality. Let's do one more of those. Let's do when e equals 4. Okay, so the variable e has the value of 4. And here's what we have. We have 3e divided by 6 something. We want to see if it's equal or if it's inequality. E minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to plug and go. E is 4. So it's 3 times 4. Sometimes when you do multiplication, you just put a little dot there. You know that it's not 34, but you know you're timesing those because they're next to each other here. 3 times 4 divided by 6. Still don't know that. And E is 4. 4 minus 2. Okay. This I can solve right away. Right, 2. And here I'm going to do 3 times 4 is 12 divided by 6. And 12 divided by 6 is 2. So that is equal. And 4 as E makes this an equal expression. It's not an inequality. All right, let's do one more of these. And then we're going to move into equations. And equations is where you solve for whatever your variable is. But let's do one more. Let's do f equals 9. If f equals 9 and we have 8f minus 4, and then we want to see how it fits in with 6f plus 10. Okay, so we know f is 9. I'm going to do 8 times 9 minus 4, 6 times 9 plus 10. Okay, let me solve each of these sides and then we'll easily be able to see. 72 minus 4, 68. Let's see, 6 times 9 is 54, plus 10 is 64. Okay, so now I'm looking at the numbers. I have 68 and 64. This number is greater than. So with f as 9, 8f minus 4 is greater than 6f plus 10. Now if this number was different, that might be different. But when f is 9, it creates an inequality. this is greater. This side is greater than this side. Okay? So that's inequalities. It's your basic doing some algebraic expressions, but knowing what side is greater than, less than, or are they equal. And we've done a lot of that through your grades about greater than, less than, equal. Okay, now let's move into something that's really, I think, is a lot of fun, and it's pretty cool. Equations and where you solve for the variable. All right, this is cool stuff. All right, let's go to we'll do this one right here. So we have 5r plus 5 equals 60. So I could kind of guess and check what r is going to be to make this a true statement. So I could go, let's see, if r is 1, then that's 5 times 1 is 5 plus 5 is 10. Nope, it's got to be more than 1. What if it's 5? 5 times 5 is 25 plus 5 is 30. No. Oh, what if it's, that was 5. What about 10? 10 times 5 is 50 plus 5 is 50. It's going to be more than 10. And I can keep going that, but there's a quicker way, easier way to figure out what r is without having to guess. Okay? So I have, over here, I have that, and then on this side, I have that. Okay? Now, I want to get this side down to where it's just r. I just want to get it to where it says r. r equals something. So what I have to do is, this is an equal. So if I do something on this side, I have to do the same thing on this side. Okay? So say I want to get rid of this plus 5. The way I get rid of a plus 5 is I do the opposite of it. I subtract 5. Okay, so I'm going to go this positive 5 minus 5. But if I do it on that side of the equals, I have to do it on this side, minus 5. Okay, so now I'm going to bring things down. 5r plus 5 minus 5, gone, equals 60 minus 5, 55. Okay, I'm getting closer where this side is just this r. I just want this to be r. Now, this is 5 times r. So if I want to get this down to nothing, if I want to get rid of this 5, I have to divide it by 5. Because it's times 5, I have to do the opposite. I have to divide this side by 5, and then I have to divide this side by 5. Okay? So 5 divided by 5 is 1, which leaves me with just r, equals 55 divided by 5, 11. So now I have what my variable is to make these equal. R equals 11. So I'm going to go back to this up here, and I'm going to see if this is 11, 5 times 11 is 55, plus 5 is 60. 60 equals 60. 11 is the variable. That's the value of the variable that makes this equation make it an equation, make it equal. All right. Cool. Solve for whatever the variable is. Okay, let's do a couple more of these. What I love about these is that you don't know what it is, and you do a little work, and then you can figure out, you find out what your unknown is. Okay, let's do 3q minus 12 equals 15. Okay. I start with my with just my numbers. Okay. I do isolate. I have my 3q here. 3q, negative 12, 15. Okay? I want to get this down to where it's just q. I'm looking for this. Q equals something. Once I know what Q equals, I can plug it back in just to make sure this is an equal expression. Q equals, this is my question. I don't know what Q equals. So I'm going to try and get rid of stuff so that on this side all I have is Q. This is a minus 12 or negative 12. The way I get rid of it is I add 12 to it. I do the opposite. So negative 12 plus 12. I always think of negative and positives as degrees outside. So if it's negative 12 degrees outside and I get 12 more degrees, now I'm at 0. Okay? So negative 12 plus 12 is 0. I got to do it to the same side. Plus 12. If I do plus 12 over here, I got to do plus 12 over here because I want things to be equal. I'm working on this. I'm working on equal. Got to be fair. If I got to do it to this side, I got to do the same thing to this side. It's like when your mom and dad die, or has 2 kids, they got to treat them equal. This kid gets exactly the same thing as this kid. Doesn't always work out that way, but that's what the kids like. Okay, so equal on both sides. Here we go. I have 3Q. I didn't do anything to that. I did minus 12 plus 12. That gets me 0. I don't need to put 0 down because 0 is 0. And 15 plus 12 is 27. Okay. Now I'm left with this 3Q, 27. And 3 times Q, the way I get rid of this 3, I want to get this 3 down to just 1. So it's just Q. It's times, so I'm going to divide it by 3. And if I divide this by 3, this by 3. So then I get down to Q. That's just 1Q. I never have to put the 1 in front of Q because it's just Q. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Let's check to make sure that if we put 9 in here, if Q equals 9, will this be an accurate, a true expression or an equation? So I'm going to put 9 there. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 minus 12 is 15. 15 equals 15. Whenever you get what you think your variable is, go back to the original problem, plug it in, check to make sure it's good. If you're all good, then you did it correct. And that is how you solve for a variable. I would like to do just one more. This one's kind of a little bit more intense where you have a variable on each side. 3m plus 9, and then you have equals 5m minus 11. Okay, so I want to find out what m is. M equals what? I have to solve for m. I could guess, like, if I guess 1, say I guess m equals 1. So that'd be 3 plus 9 is 12. That'd be 5. 5 minus 11, that's a negative number. So I don't want to guess anymore. It's too hard. I can solve for m. So I'm going to isolate. That means to see what I got here. I have a 3m on this side and a positive 9 here. I have a 5m and a negative 11. Okay? The first thing I'm going to do is I like to keep things positive. I like to keep things positive. So I'm going to get rid of this over here instead of getting rid of this. Because if I take this plus 9, I have to take more down, and then this minus 11 goes down even farther to more negative. I don't like that. So I'm going to start with my negative. So I'm going to add 11 on this side, add 11 on this side. So I'll do that first. 3m, positive 9 and positive 11, I put those two together, I get 20. So 3m plus 20 equals, now 5m, I didn't do anything with 5m, and now I have minus 11 plus 11. Negative 11 plus 11. Put those together, I get 0. Eliminate it. Good. Okay, so now I have this 3m plus 20 equals 5m. I'm going to take this whole thing like it is, and I have this, and I have this. I see I have like terms. I have an m over here and an m over here. So if I have 3m and 5m, I'm going to get rid of this side here. I have a positive 3m, so I'm going to get rid of it. 3m minus 3m, see you later. But if I do it on this side, I have to do it on this side. 3m. Okay. So let's do the problem. 3m minus 3m, gone. 20 equals 5m minus 3m, leaves me to 2m. Okay, now I'm getting really close to finding out what m is. I have 20 equals 2m. This, 2 times m. Well, I want to get rid of this, so I'm going to divide it by that. 2 divided by 2 leaves me with 1m, or just m. And then 20 divided by 2 equals 10. Now, let's go back to the original problem. And I'm going to plug in 10 for m. And I'm going to see if it works. This is the fun part. This is where I think I got my variable. I think I know what the value is. I want to just check. So I'm going to make this 10, and I'm going to make that 10. Okay. 3 times 10 is 30 plus 9. So on this side, I get 39. 5 times 10 is 50 minus 11. 50 minus 11. Well, I know 50 minus 10 is 40. 40. Then minus 1 more is 39. 39 equals 39. I was able to find the variable, the value of m, so that when I put it back in there, it makes this equation a true equation. You gotta know that if you do it to one side, you gotta do it to the other. If you have negative numbers, if you have minus, then you gotta add to get rid of it. And if you add it on one side, you gotta add it on the other side. If you subtract it on this side, you have to subtract it on this side. If you multiply it on this side, you have to multiply it. Divide, divide. Do the same. It's equal, so you gotta do the same on both sides. Okay, we're gonna have some fun exploring inequalities and equations. All right, have fun.